Hey everybody, this is Claire, and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go out to thrift stores or I go to estate sales. Sometimes I buy things from Craigslist or just generally anywhere I can, and I look for things that either tell me a story or teach me something or that I just find interesting. And then I bring them home. I try to find out as much as I can about them, and then I tell you guys about them. So I got something kind of cool today. It is a bird. And you probably get a better look at him here. This is a little bird figurine, who I have to say is very cute. And it's got Mexico on the base of it. So we're just going to measure him up. It's about 4 inches across. And if I can eyeball this, which isn't easy, about 2.5 inches wide, and let's carefully turn him sideways. Come on, work with me, bird. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, about 3.5 inches high. Okay. Tiny little thing. Okay, there, done. Away. Okay, so what have we got here? This is a little bird figurine. I bought it in a thrift store for $2 because I picked it up and basically just grabbed it and held it like this and found it to be very, very pleasing. Just the feel of it is basic. It's really lovely. I can't describe how fun it is just to hold him like that. He sits in the hand very nicely. I keep calling it a he. I think he looks like a boy. I don't want, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I think he looks like a boy. So exactly. So what have we got? Okay, now considering that only just last week, I brought in some. I managed to find a piece of vintage Tonalà pottery. I've gone and gotten an even more vintage piece, just by pure chance. I saw it and I picked it up and I was like, oh, I know what this is. So for comparison, I brought this vase back, so you can take a look at the similarities and differences here. Obviously different artists, but these are both Tonalà. This one is just a more newer design. This one is much older. I was kind of guessing that this one was about maybe the 1980s, like at the, no older than that. This one is definitely older. So you can see they have some of the same kind of, like symbols or whatever. They still have the big long kind of long thin leaves and everything. There's a sort of a similarity in the colors. There's a white bird, obviously. There's like a slight blue or everything in the greenery. Well, obviously it's green here, but there's a little bit of blue, and there's a little bit more blue here, blue or black. And you can see the neck of the bird is a little bit similar. It's got the same kind of elements, but this one's just much older. So let's put that away for a second. So what exactly have we got? This is Tonalà. This is real Tonalà. This is like the old stuff, the figurines. The thing that, like, if you look at pictures online of Tonalà pottery, what you will see are pictures of little animals that look a lot like this. So if we just pop over there a second. So here we go. Mexican Tonalà birds. And you can see a lot of them they have some of the same, some of the similar little elements or whatever. The little feet, I really do like. This one kind of looks quite similar. There's a slight difference. I think that one is probably a little bit smaller. But you see the shape of the head, the shape of the beak is very similar. This is another very old one here as well. Vintage Tonalà Mexico bird. Now there was actually one I was looking at. I've kind of lost it now. I found one that actually looked very similar to this one. And I was very excited about it, going like, oh, look at that. That's amazing. Yeah, no, here we go. That guy. You can see that the face is so similar. The face and the head are basically the same. That's so cool. This one I think is a little bit bigger again, but I think that's a very close match. You can see that the dots and everything in the head are very similar as well. And that's good. And that's, oh, that's so great. So I didn't really talk much about Tonalà before. I want to talk a little bit more about it now. I'm going to put a link to the actual the Wikipedia article that talks a little bit about it. So Tonalà is an area, and it's just basically a place in Mexico, and I think it's in one of the areas called Jalisco, and it's one of the major ceramic centers with international recognition for techniques of decorative styles. Now, the reason that like it's so well known, obviously, is because the best clay is found in Tonalà, in the area, and the clay is so fine that the resulting works are similar to porcelain. I think that's true in this case. Now, at the base here, these little bits here are not glazed or anything. You can see even the bits that are unglazed, it's very, very smooth. Very smooth and very fine. Like earthenware, I think it has, you know, on the surface tends to be very kind of a little bit rough. Not so in this case, but it's not just because like the clay itself is very fine. It's also because this is, if I can pronounce it correctly, this is a Brunido. I'm not good at that. I'm just gonna have to, I can't get the words right. It's you know, it's Spanish. Brunido. So the Brunido means burnished. So when they were actually making this little guy, they would have taken like a stone or you know, a piece of wood or anything like that, and basically polished the surface really, really finely. And that's why it's got this nice sheen to it. Like it's not really glazed. He's actually just been rubbed a lot, which I really like. And then he obviously would have been painted, but it's so like fun to hold. The thing is that it's not a proper shiny glaze, not really. You hold it and it's a little bit more matte. Like if I bring this back again, this up here, that's been properly glazed, and you can see that it's actually got a shine to it. This guy, not so much. It's a far more muted thing. But it's so nice, and it's so tiny and cute. It's a tiny little Tonalà bird. I can't even. I can't believe I found him in a thrift store for $2. It's you know, it's lovely. It really is. If I could find one of the cats that they keep talking about, that would just be amazing. Maybe when I actually find a cat, I'll go through that. It's just like there's a lot of the time cats will show up. It's birds and cats for whatever reason, and a few other like little animals, but it's mostly, you know, birds and cats. So there we go. Now, what's going to happen to this guy? He is probably going to be going up on eBay. Unfortunately, even though he is lovely and vintage, like Mexican pottery still just doesn't sell very well. I've checked the prices and everything. It depends on like how good the condition is and like how elaborate the painting is on them. And it really just does depend. I would say that I got him for $2. He will probably sell for maybe 10 or 15. And that'll be 10 or 15 US. You know, I've got the exchange rate in my favor. So, you know, he's still worth something. He's definitely a good buy. If you do see vintage Tonalà pottery, definitely pick it up and just feel it and enjoy the sensation of it, because it is fun, and I can't tell you how satisfying it is to just hold it and just, you know, look at the bird. So that's my small joyful thing for today. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.